Hi everybody, it's Sunny. Welcome back to my channel. I might not sound a little sunny today because I got some bad news about a close relative that I am keeping in my prayers, him and his wife. And so yeah, rather than try to hide and just be my sunny self for you, I'm going to let you see me all without my makeup and in my nightgown still and just raw. Um, I wanted to be here for you, even though I was kind of wanting to just lay in bed and cry, but I do want to be here for you because I know I had told you when I did my Saturday cooking that you needed to be here for story time. So let's get down to it. I was going to tell you about the time a few years back, several years back, when I broke my leg. And the first thing I need to address is the fact that I constantly forget to look at the lens of the camera. And I am so sorry for that. I don't know why I keep looking off to the right. I should put the lens over to the right. Anyhow, yeah, my husband and I were having dinner at my friend's house, and earlier at work that day, and I was cashiering upstairs by Home Fashions, and I had seen a lady fall on some water that I guess a little girl had had an icy as she walked through the store, and I did not see it because I was attending to customers that were in my line. And I heard this commotion. A lady just fell down, and I looked over there, and I could tell that by the way her leg was twisted that she had broken her leg. And so I called our emergency code that is very rarely used over the intercom, and I felt very calm while I was giving the code, and I even told the exact location where the manager should rush to, and they took care of it, and I continued to take care of my job. So anyhow, later that night, my husband and I went to dinner at my friend's house, and I was bringing a Ted's pie out from her kitchen, and she has a little small step about that big down into her dining room area. And I had stepped down. I had my slippers, as we call them here. You call them flip-flops. Had those on, and I did not realize that there was a wet spot on the floor. And my feet came out from under me this way, and I came crashing down, and I heard the crunch of my leg break as it bent back in the same position as that poor lady's had earlier that day at work. And so they slowly got me up. I could not. I tried to put a tiny bit of weight on it, and I could feel the broken, pointy parts of the bone in my leg piercing the inside flesh of my leg. So I knew I couldn't do that, and I refused to put weight on that leg. But being a big woman, it took all three of them to get me to the chair, and then they got a car ready, and they were going to take me to the hospital. So anyway, my prop that I told you I would have, because I was going to go out this morning and get some, was a Ted's pie. Very, very popular pie here. And I was going to get a little slice so I could put it up close and show you how worthy this pie was of the comment that came next. When I was in the ER, once they got me stabilized and bringing me in to the back room, one of the local nurses had said, "Oh, tell us how this happened." So I was telling the story about bringing the pie out from the kitchen, and I had mentioned it was a Ted's pie, and I heard a gasp, and everybody in the ER turned, and she said what they were all thinking. And she said, "Oh my God, what happened to the pie?" So, yeah, it's that good of pie. They make it up going towards the North Shore. Someday I'll stop there and do a little videography of their store and what they carry, and maybe buy something and show you. Anyhow, yeah, so because I'm so large and because I've had trouble in the past with anesthesia, um, when they were trying to force me to get the surgery to put screws and bolts and things into my ankle, um, and I wasn't having it. At the time, the other grandmother to my granddaughters, she was on her third occasion of fighting cancer, which is kind of getting the better of her right now at this moment. And anyhow, I told them the last thing my granddaughters need if their other grandma passes away is for me to die on the operating table. So no, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. And because the hospital I was at is a teaching hospital and they need all the guinea pigs that they can get, they were not happy with this, but they can't do anything against my wishes, so I just had them set my leg in an old-fashioned cast. The interesting part is then being older and not having upper body strength, and I come home and we have to figure out a way, because I can't handle the crutches. I'm too top heavy for that, and I just didn't have the strength to do that, and I had to find a way to work my way up one set of stairs just to get to my apartment, and then I had to get up another set just to get to my bedroom and the bathroom area, and that was really one of the most rough times that I had been through. And so I stayed living in this room until it was time to go, several weeks until it was time to go for a cast change. Now, the interesting thing that I found out during my first cast change is, and they had to x-ray my leg again to see how it was setting, is that they said to me, "Do you know that you have a huge amount of arthritis?" And I said, "Well, I don't go to the doctor." So I had just guessed on my own that all the aching and pain was from arthritis. Yes, because I'm older. So they said, "Okay, so this is why we kept taking lots of x-rays." And I'm sharing this because I didn't know it, and I was a pretty knowledgeable person. I always have a curiosity about things, and I always am reading. But this is something I didn't know. They said that, oh, we couldn't get a good picture of the break in your leg, and I asked them, well, why? And they said, arthritis, when x-rays come in and hit arthritis, they bounce back out, and it just leaves the x-ray with this super bright light. And it's so bright, and the glare is so bright that we can't even see the bone and where the break is and what it looks like and stuff. So they said that's why we had to take it from so many different angles. And I said, oh, okay. And so yeah, so we took about almost a year to get healed. Actually a little over a year, because they held my job. I have to give Sears hats off. HR kept my position open at work for a full year, hoping that I'd be back, and I was hoping I'd be back. But the tendons and ligaments that I had ripped at the time that I broke my leg was taking a long time to heal. And also they saw bubbles in my bones, and they said that was the beginning of osteoporosis. So my healing was a lot slower than what your average person's would have been. And during that time, I had a lot of time alone and a lot of quiet time. And I came to realize that my whole life I had really been trying to be there for everybody else. And I found this a very humbling experience to have to rely on my husband so much, and he was wonderful about it. He'd give me baths because I couldn't move, and take care. So he'd give me baths in bed, and he took all kinds of care for me. When he went off to work, he took the bus. He doesn't drive because the neuropathy in his feet from the diabetes keeps him from feeling where the brake and the gas is. So he'd have to take the bus, and he'd get me all set up on our big king-size bed. He'd put a little cooler, and in the cooler he'd have my lunch fixed and snacks and drinks, and he'd make sure I had the remote to the TV and my computer so I could play computer games. It was really very strange, and if you've never been on the receiving end of someone taking such good care of you, it will really make you appreciate how much other humans can be caring when you need it. So anyhow, yeah, so long story short, my leg healed up and I went back to work. Had to reapply because my year had been up, and then I did have a few great years before I had to quit recently because of my knees. But anyhow, I think that the important thing that we take away is that just to not feel bad when you're having to be on the receiving end of other people's generosity, because you have either been the giver for a very long time to other people throughout your life, or you are going to be in the future. So we always take turns playing the different roles in life, and we should be tender-hearted with each other and live every day. Don't postpone as much as possible. Do things that you want to do them now. And enjoy your life every day, because life is so wonderful even in the worst of times. It's like that old joke about bad pizza is like, no, I'm going to get this joke wrong. Pizza is like sex. Even when it's bad, it's good. Something like that. I'm sure you've heard of that. Anyhow, I love you all. Sorry I was a little bit down today. If you are someone that does meditation or prayers, just send out some prayers to my two friends, my friend and my in-law that has cancer. Both of them need prayers, please. And appreciate you. I love you. Shout out to new subscribers. If you haven't joined us yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell. And normally, and you can watch all my old videos, you'll see I am way more sunny than this. So But we all have our days, and if you're really going to love me, you're going to love me even when I'm having a lemon day. And now I'm going to turn off the video and upload it so you can watch it. And I'm going to take my lemons and go make some lemonade, okay? But I love you very much. I will talk to you, and I will be making a new video as soon as possible. I am hoping for tomorrow, but if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Wednesday. Okay? I love you so much. Thank you. Aloha.